Hi, my name is Jennifer Jury. I'm a Microsoft Learning Consultant for North Carolina and Virginia. Here's my contact information. If you have questions after today's presentation, you can reach me at my email here, jennifer.jury@usmie.com. And also here is my bookings link if you want to book some time with me for either small group or individual trainings. Today we're going to discuss breakout rooms versus channels. What are they? What's the best way to use both of them? They both have amazing, great features, and we're going to see how to utilize those best in your room and when's the best time to use breakout rooms, when's the best time to use channel meetings. So first with breakout rooms, you have a lot of wonderful features in here. You're going to have file sharing, whiteboard, and you're going to have that full share tray. So you're going to be able to, it's going to have the same functionality that you would have in a regular Teams meeting. You're also going to get, with the breakout rooms, you'll have the ability for recording each breakout room. You're also going to have the ability to download a transcript from them. When you start the recording, it will give you a recording and a transcript, but you also have the ability to do a transcript only, which might be a nice alternative for teachers to be able to document what's happening in the room without having to run videos for students. And then you'll also get an attendance report for each breakout room. So let's go take a look at breakout rooms before we get too far into this. Over here, if we're in a team meeting, I've invited some of our Microsoft student accounts to this meeting. As the organizer, I am going to be the only one that has the ability to see the breakout rooms feature. My students that are entering the class will not see it. Only the organizer, only the one who created the meeting will have that feature. So if we open this up, we're going to go in here and you'll have the ability to assign students or have the computer assign them. So this one I had already set up earlier. I can also take it and move students and assign them and move what room that they were in, or I can have the computer do it. You have a lot of options. Even if you have the computer do it, you can go in and change where they are. You'll have the ability to go in here and you can recreate the rooms. This is also, once the rooms are open, you'll have the ability to make an announcement. And then here you can also look at your room settings. You can automatically move participants to the room, and participants can return to the main meeting. So you have a lot of control over how this flow is going to work. If you wanted to change the name of the rooms, you can click on here and open the room, rename the room, delete the room. If students arrive late, you'll see their name show up here, and then you can assign them where you need to. You also have the ability to add rooms. You'll have the choice of up to 50 breakout rooms. So we really can accommodate a good large crowd. Our team meetings right now go up to 200 participants. With breakout rooms, once you go and you open and start the rooms, everyone will get placed in their rooms. Once you do that, some of the best practices for working with students in breakout rooms, you want to make sure that the teacher or the organizer starts the recording for each breakout room. The reason this is important is because with breakout rooms, it's going to come down to ownership of that video. If the teacher starts the recording or the organizer starts the recording, they're going to be the sole owners of that video and they can share it out as needed. If a student or someone else starts the video in the breakout room, yes, it will be shared with the organizer or teacher, but whoever started it will also have editing rights to that video. So to avoid that, it's just really good practice to have the teacher or organizer jump into the different rooms and start those videos. You want to, just like with anything you would do in your classroom, make sure they assign roles to each student and that they're clear, they understand what's expected of them, establish the norms for how you operate within these rooms. And what they have found in research is that students do really well in breakout rooms. When we keep it to a short amount of time, they have concrete tasks to complete. They are very clear on what their role is, what the expectations are, and they tend to enjoy the experience. Students tend to not do well in breakout rooms and tend to not enjoy the experience when they are left in breakout rooms too long. They are told to just discuss things or do not have a real clear idea of the task they're supposed to complete. When they're in those environments where they're left in there too long, they're not clear on what they should do, they tend to walk away from the camera, they tend to turn their cameras off, they tend to disengage. But we report really positive experiences when you keep it short, a concrete task to complete, and clear expectations. One of the tips with closing breakout rooms, when you close the breakout rooms, it's going to shut down the chat that went with that breakout room. And that's going to be super important to control how and when your students are talking outside of your class. If for some reason that you've just closed the meeting, forgot to do it, you can go back in and open them up and address it that way. Some good use cases and examples for using breakout rooms. Great for think, pair, share. Students have a problem to work out. They can work with the files and they can collaborate and go through that think, share, pair process. We have schools that are using it for battle of the books and group competitions. What they're doing is all starting out in that main meeting, announcing the problem or the task, and then the students break out to their groups, solve it. When the time is up, they come back to that main meeting and give their answer. It's great for hybrid partner work. You can be paired with a student who's virtual and a student that's in class in person together. Really great way to keep that community feeling and collaboration so that it doesn't feel like the students in class are doing one thing and the students virtually are doing something else. This is a great way to bridge that gap. Peer editing is also a wonderful thing to do in breakout rooms. Because you have that file sharing, which is collaborative, they can open that up and work on a document and edit in there, add to it, create, and work collaboratively on a file or document. I have mentor programs that are using this. And what they're doing is starting out with the main part of their meeting in the main meeting. And then when it comes time to break into small groups or work with their mentor one-on-one, that's when they engage the breakout rooms. It's really great for book buddies, pairing younger students with older students and having them read together. Science labs, again, that starting out together, introducing the lab, introducing the expectations, and students go off and create and solve. And then lastly, just to reiterate, that 10 to 15 minute mark seems to be the sweet spot for when students really do well, stay engaged, but you know your students best, you know what works for them, you know how they operate. So that's just a guideline. Moving to channels. Channels within teams offer a lot of flexibility. What I like about channels is we're all creatures of habit. And channels I like more so for ongoing meetings because those meetings and all those files and everything associated with those meetings are going to be kept in that channel in that same place that you can repetitively go back and visit. I like channels better for ongoing groups and meetings that are going to take place over a long period of time. I like the breakout rooms for short, impromptu, one-day group work. In here, this is where you can create those office hours where you're going to go back to again and again. Study groups. You can create channels and you can have all those wonderful features in there that are really going to make it functional for you. And that again, you're going to be able to go back and visit those again and again. So files, posts, announcements, conversations in there. You also have a wonderful ability to add apps. We have the new calendar app, Nearpod, Kahoot, Forms. So with that calendar app being added to the channel, you can show when you're meeting or when the next project is due. So it really helps for those long-term events. Meet Now and scheduled meetings are also available in the channel. So that offers great flexible grouping. You also have the ability to manage channels where you can control the chat that's happening. You can control who's posting in there a little bit better than a breakout room. Breakout rooms are meant to be collaborative. So when students go into the breakout room, they're all going to enter as presenters, no matter what you set that main meeting to. That breakout room is then going to override when they leave and go in there, and they're going to have full functionality. Now you can go into that breakout room and bump people down to attendee, so there's less privileges. But you have to do that when the meeting's happening. This you can set up ahead of time, so there's some advantages here. Some great use cases and examples for channels are small group remediation and enrichment. So I have a 5th grade group of teachers, and what they're doing is they have a certain block of time every day where they are offering enrichment and remediation. And so they have a topic that they're covering on different days. And it gives them a lot of flexibility because they can meet with one group on Tuesday and Thursday. They can meet with another group on Monday and Wednesday. They can store their files. They can put everything they need to work with those groups in those channels and be prepared. And then that Meet Now offers them flexibility to pull and work with different students in a very fluid way. It's also great for pulling students one by one to read with them and just calling them into a quick Meet Now. I have teachers who are using a block of time in the afternoon for their students to just read, and they're being notified that pay attention for that Meet Now alert when I call you to come join me in the channel and read with me. Great for study groups, office hours. Again, those meetings that you're going to want to come back to. It gives a great, easy location, easy to access through the channels. One of the downfalls with the breakout rooms, with that repetitiveness and needing to go back there if you wanted to, is all of those files and everything you created in the breakout room are all going to be stored in that chat feature. And over time, we know what happens. The more meeting you have, the more that's going to go down to the bottom of the chats, where channels are going to be just easy access, easy to get back to every time. They're great for students to work with resource teachers. So if you have someone that pushes into your classroom, this can be a great workspace for them. Again, they can use all of that collaboration space to store what they need for their meetings and their group work. I've included in the last 2 slides some great resources. I like these 2 videos on breakout rooms. They're about 15 minutes or so each. This is Mike Folson. He's one of the project managers on the Microsoft Education team, and he'll walk you through step by step how to rename the rooms, everything like that. So this is a great resource to go back to. And this is Kevin. Kevin also used to work for Microsoft. He left this past July, and he is also a great resource. I like to follow both of those channels. I've also included here some breakout rooms, some documentation from Microsoft if you're looking for some more specifics about breakout rooms. Down here, I have a wonderful video about managing your teams, managing your channels. This one's about 30 minutes long, but it's an excellent resource. So I wanted to leave those with you today so you have a place to go and do a deeper dive if you would like. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, please reach out and be happy to answer your questions.